Good evening and welcome to another Channel 8 sports presentation. Tonight from Sayreville's War Memorial Stadium, it's East Brunswick's football team visiting the Bombers in a Greater Middlesex Conference Red Division game. Hi, I'm Jimmy Allinder and I'm being joined by Phil Hill. And Phil, I think it's fair to say that this is the most important game that East Brunswick is going to play this year, so far anyway.
Certainly not an understatement. A very important game, not only for East Brunswick, but for Sayreville as well. This game clearly can dictate who goes into the state playoffs. And both teams, no matter what they say, are thinking about that, Jim.
Exactly. Now, East Brunswick, we saw them 2 weeks ago against Piscataway, their first loss of the season, but they rebounded rather well against Edison, 42-7. What do you see as the key matchups for tonight's game?
Well, the key matchups really are going to be how well defensively the Bombers are able to cope with
Great Colheim
sure. And Simonello.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you an interesting thing. Talked to Sal Mastretta, and he said his first priority will be to stop Frank Simonello. He says, you remember 1992, a couple years ago, when Jim Varick ran all over him through the middle, and he's not going to allow that to happen. My feeling is he believes that if he can stop Simonello, then he can create havoc for the option, and Colheim's going to get his.
Right.
And I think that's probably his feeling.
Okay, so we're talking nothing but running here. But what about the passing game? You know, Colheim has shown some flashes of being able to connect with Jay Tangway.
And I think that may be the difference. We've talked earlier in the year that the Bears needed to create more balance. They have created. Colheim's passing game has come around, so they are a double threat. He can run and he can pass, and I think, mark my words, the pass may be the big difference in this game here. Okay,
and on the defensive side of the ball, last week, 2 weeks ago against that loss to Piscataway, East Brunswick gave up 3 touchdowns via the air route. You're going to see a new man back there. That receiver that we're talking about, Jay Tangway, is going to be playing defensive back. So that's one switch in the East Brunswick defensive lineup, and certainly that's going to be a key matchup. Sayreville's air game, if they have any, going against East Brunswick. So, big game tonight. East Brunswick 5-1, Sayreville 6-1. Winner is going to be in a great position to qualify for the Central Jersey Group 4 playoffs. And we'll be back with the action in just a moment.
Well, good evening and welcome to tonight's East Brunswick-Sayreville game on what is one of those rare, beautiful fall evenings.
I'll tell you.
I've never seen anything like it, quite frankly.
Quite honestly, we've never been here when it's this warm.
John, welcome. I know you're a couple minutes late, traffic being what it is.
In Middlesex County, I see things haven't changed at all.
Well, anyway, that does not take away from what is going to be a crucial game.
Big
tonight.
game, fellas.
Yeah. Looks like East Brunswick has won the toss and will be receiving. Looks like 41 for Sayreville. Do not have his number. Guys, you're going to have to help me here. We're not used to our comfortable confines. David Cook
will kick it off.
Sayreville, and the usual tandem of Colheim back there.
Ball kicked low. This is fielded by Tangway, number one.
Yep.
Tangway across the 35 to about the 36-yard line, and East Brunswick will go on offense, 1st and 10.
All right, Greg Colheim coming off a record-setting 288 yards rushing against Edison last week. Frank Simonello, not to be outshone, 130 yards. What an offensive rushing display by the Bears last week. But Edison is not Sayreville, and we will find that out very quickly.
I'll tell you, Sayreville, you see them, they're bigger than East Brunswick up front, and you got to believe they're stronger as well.
Here we go, 1st and 10. Colheim calling signals. Keeps the ball out to the right end, turns the corner, and he's taken down at the 45-yard line, pickup of about 9 yards.
Yes, a nice 9-yard pickup, and the maturity of Greg Colheim is something that Marcus Borden has talked about. Greg making the read. It's a simple read. He can either pitch off to Simonello or just take it himself, and the results thus far have been devastating.
Well, if they're going to key on Simonello and not on Colheim, the Bombers could be in for a long night.
They spot the ball at the 45-yard line of East Brunswick. They have it 2nd and about 2. Simonello inside has the 1st down for the Bears.
And I'll tell you, this Bear team, Jim, seems to be a rather confident group. I mean, they bounced back after that Piscataway loss, did a job on Edison, but the swagger's back.
The swagger is going to need to be back for East Brunswick. Quite frankly, it's a question that needs to be answered, Phil. East Brunswick has not had the experience of being in the playoffs in the last couple of years. Here comes Ajika Batosho, who's a late arrival. And and who else is coming in here? Kilkenny?
Yeah.
2 split to the left. That might be tactical by East Brunswick.
1st and 10 for East Brunswick. Sabatino
Wow.
snuffed right at the line of scrimmage.
And I'll tell you, the interior of that Bomber line there.
They were there for that one. But going back to what we were talking about, Sayreville is the team that has the playoff experience. Central Jersey Group 4 finalists 2 years ago. They made it in the semifinals last year. This is a somewhat veteran unit, although we'll have to talk about a couple of players that are missing for the Bombers.
We can talk about some players here, and one of them is Pat Walsh. You're going to hear his name a lot. Liked him 2 years ago, and I like him now.
2nd and 10 for East Brunswick. Kolheim keeps looking to the left side, finds an opening, picks up about 6. So it'll bring up a 3rd down for the Bears. First offensive series for East Brunswick. They come in 5-1. Sayreville 6-1.
And I tell you, Mike Lordi coming up to make the tackle there. One step and Kolheim is gone.
And that's how dangerous he can be. Just he had a 94-yard touchdown run against the Eagles last week, and his speed, East Brunswick's speed, might be a big factor tonight.
The ball is spotted in Sayreville territory, right at the Sayreville 45-yard line. 3rd and about 4. Kolheim puts 2 receivers to the right and gives it to Sermonello. He's got the hole. He's got the 1st down and more. It's a foot race to the end zone.
They're not going to get him.
Touchdown, East Brunswick.
Wow.
Just like that. And you know what made that play? They were keying on Greg Kolheim, and that was what set Sermonello free.
Well, I'll tell you, very interesting. If they're talking about keying on Sermonello, nobody even touched him there. He blew right through there, Jim, and if they're going to have to worry about him, then this game's going to be wide open.
Frank Sermonello goes 45 yards for the first score for the Bears.
12th touchdown on the year for the leading scorer for East Brunswick.
One of the leading scorers in the county, Frank Sermonello.
Bettis on for the extra point. Klein to hold. Snap is down, kick is through, and the Bears go on top 7-0 with a 9:11 remaining here in the first quarter.
And that is what East Brunswick wanted to do, was to establish its running game early on, Phil. And again, I think that Sayreville was just overplaying Greg Kolheim. It was just a perfect read on the part of the quarterback. Gave the ball to Sermonello, who just emerged right from the line, and he really went in almost untouchable.
Well, I'll tell you what, this is exactly what the Bombers didn't want. Talked to Sal Mistretta. Mistretta talked about not wanting to play from behind, wanting to jump out early on the Bears. Of course, they haven't had the ball yet, but just a rather impressive drive by the Bears.
Well, it certainly quiets the Sayreville crowd down. A lot of pomp and circumstance going on before the game, Phil, but they're pretty settled now.
Well, I tell you what I think of. There's a popular sign out that says "No Fear." I'm not quite sure what it means, but clearly the Bears, if you remember 1992, 2 years ago, when the Bombers came to East Brunswick, clearly prohibitive favors headed for the States, and the Bears did a job on them. They apparently do not fear them.
Bettis kicks it low. Off one of the Sayreville players. The ball is live, now picked up at the 30. Big hole. And across close to the 45-yard line.
And that's Pat Walsh. He's a young man that tends to make things happen. Pat Walsh is a solid football player, loves to hit, doesn't mind being hit, and usually in the middle of things for the Bombers.
One of the captains for the Bombers, going to be an important player. Now, an important player missing for the Bombers is number 14, Belial King, who was injured 3 games ago against Woodbridge. He was their leading carrier.
LaFerge is the quarterback. He's got O'Neill and Walsh in the backfield with him. This is O'Neill, big hole. O'Neill fights for a pickup.
And Jason O'Neill exploding through there. And Jimmy, you talk about the loss of Belial King, but Sal Mistretta hasn't cried about it. Jason O'Neill and Gary
Jaremba
have made up for it quite well. Jaremba running for over 100 yards the last 3 games, so they still have some backs there that can do the job.
Right, and that was Jaremba that carried the ball, number 31. O'Neill is number 11, so we'll try to get this sorted out as we go along.
Okay.
And watch number 1, just a freshman on the wide receiver, Omar Joseph.
LaFerge gives it to Jaremba again, but Jaremba's knocked right back.
There you
And
go.
who else but Lenny Maid leading the attack there? I'll tell you.
We're going to talk about that defense a lot tonight because I think, as we said in the opening, key factor tonight. How fast are they going to charge to block up the hole? They're a straight-ahead team.
Well, I had a chance to talk briefly to Marcus Borden last Friday night, and he was almost rubbing his palms because he knew the Bombers have a running game, and he knew his defense is going to be tested, and he has a lot of confidence in his defense against the run.
3rd and 4. Ball just across midfield. This is Walsh. He's got the first down as he goes into East Brunswick secondary and into East Brunswick territory. First down, Sayreville.
I'll tell you, some fine running there. A few missed tackles, though.
Yeah, some nice blocking by 74 Heath Daniel and Mike Foy, 55. Two of the bigger offensive linemen for Sayreville.
Mike Foy is a blue chipper. He's been rated as one of the best linemen in the East here, and you're going to have a good look at him tonight.
First down for Sayreville. The ball resting at the East Brunswick 39. They trail 7-0. Clock showing 7:15. First quarter action. LaFerge gives to Jaremba. Jaremba gets to the 35 and is stopped there.
Phil, I don't think there's any doubt that Sayreville is going to have some good success, at least getting through the front line. It's how the East Brunswick linebackers react. It's going to determine how much of a gain they're going to get.
Well, I'll tell you, Sayreville's going to pick up the yardage there. They don't appear to be a big play team, Jim. They appear to be to run it right up your gut, pick up 8 and 10 yards, but not a big play team, and that may fare well for the Bears.
2nd and 4 for the Bombers. They stay in that I formation. Jaremba hit in the backfield, and he's going to be dropped for a loss.
Again, Lenny May leading the charge for the Bears.
And I tell you, the Bear defense is looking pretty sharp right now, gentlemen.
Now, normally you would, if you're East Brunswick, you have to watch for the pass, but quite truthfully, the passing game is not one of the strengths for Sayreville. LaForge, you can see he's not a big guy. He really doesn't possess an overwhelmingly powerful arm, so East Brunswick secondary might take some chances.
Here we go, 3rd and about 7 on a 2-yard loss on that last play. Sayreville has a receiver to the left, a little counter move. O'Neal, and O'Neal's going to be stopped short of the first down by about 5 yards.
That's a favorite play that the Bombers like to use. It's that misdirection counter by Jason O'Neal, who's gotten a lot of yards on that play.
Well, I'll tell you, talk about balance. In a typical situation where you might expect passing, the Bears confident in the running game, but you have to question perhaps where's the passing game. We do know.
You might see it right here.
Well, the first test of the evening as Sayreville is facing a 4th and about 5, and we're going to have an official timeout.
I'll tell you, talk about the passing game, but Sal Mastretta had to deal with his starting quarterback, John Kubats, 3 days before the season opened, decided he didn't want to play football for the Bombers. And once again, Sal didn't cry about it. He just went on about his business. Later on, I'm going to talk about all the adversity that the Bombers have had to deal with this year.
Yeah, right where we're standing, as a matter of fact.
and somehow managed to work their way through it all.
All right, looks like Foy had some trouble with his equipment, John.
Chin strap problem, but he seems to have gotten that straightened out. Fourth down, as we said, 4th and about 5. LaFerge has 2 receivers to the left, stays in the I formation. To Walsh. Walsh fighting his way, and he's going to be close to that first down.
All depends on where. Nope, he's going to be short. According to the referee's spot, he's going to be just about a half-yard short.
I think they're going to bring the chains out, Jim.
I think you might be right, Jim. And
boy, but a lot of heart shown by that fullback from Sayreville.
I talked about Walsh, one of my favorite players. One play, a block he threw, John, you might remember 2 years ago over here when we were here out in the cold. And he threw a block like I hadn't seen before, and I fell in love with him right then.
East Brunswick holds on and will take over on downs.
And an important stop by the Bears. Important stop.
So East Brunswick showing some bend, but no break.
And I think that may be the story there. Their defense is good. They've one of the better, maybe the top defense against the run in the county here. As far as yardage that they give up, the things that have beaten them in the past have been the big pass plays. They don't seem to have to contend with that tonight, and they're sitting pretty well right now.
1st and 10 from the Bears from their own 30. Kohlheim drops back, gets some pressure, rolls, looks deep down the field for Aji Batosho, but overthrown.
I tell you, Aji Batosho was open for a long, long time, and don't know why he didn't hit him then. They clearly were defending him well, but
Yeah.
he broke and was hoping for.
You know, something I want to mention that a lot of the players on the Sayreville defense, we know their numbers, like Walsh, 49, 11, Jaremba. These are all guys that play offense. Not too many play for the East Brunswick both ways, and that could be a factor later on.
2nd and 10 for the Bears. They lead 7-0. Clock showing 4:45 remaining, first quarter. Kolheim keeps. Is going to be pulled down by his shirt.
I'll tell you, number 73, that's Dan Plumacher.
Dan gang tackled by Plumacher. And Walsh, of course, was in there, so they're going to lose a couple.
And I'll tell you what he did. He did his job. That's what he did. Did his job, stayed home there, and is supposed to contain there. Did his job and did it rather well.
Kolheim went to the near side, which was curious because, you know, you want to give him as much room to operate, and Sayreville bottled that up very nicely.
Loss on the play of about 1. Brings up 3rd and 11 for East Brunswick. Kolheim has 2 receivers to the right. A little counter play, Sabatino. Still on his feet as he squirms his way through for a pickup of about 7.
And I'll tell you, good running by Mark Sabatino. We don't always mention his name, but he's another one of the good solid backs there, and just a fine effort right there.
It'll bring up 4th down. It looks like East Brunswick will punt it away.
Keith Figaro has been doing the punting for East Brunswick, and he will now. He's been getting off a couple of good kicks. And watch number 1 back for Sayreville, Omar Joseph. He has run back a punt. He ran back a punt last week. Looks like Sayreville's going to try to block this.
And he's a freshman.
Figaro gets some pressure, but gets it off. Kicks away from Joseph. And it gets an East Brunswick roll as it goes out close to the 30-yard line. And that's where it'll be, and that's where Sayreville will take over.
So a lot of action thus far. Sayreville trying to do its best to come back after East Brunswick scored on their first drive. And basically new faces for the East Brunswick defense.
LaFerge brings him back out. He's the quarterback. 3:15 shown, first quarter. Bears on top 7-0 from Sayreville High School.
All right, watch O'Neal. He's wide to the right here. He's a very versatile athlete for the Bombers. Now he's in
From
motion.
their own 32. Quick pitch. And that was Garimba.
Gary Jaremba, number 31. He's the back that's replaced King. Now, Tangway, playing a deep back, came up to meet that nicely, but he just was sloughed off.
Didn't wrap, and German finally did come up and lay a nice lick on him.
Jaremba picks up 5, makes it 2nd and 5. Ball spotted at the Sayreville 37-yard line. Jim, I can't help but notice how horrible the field is and the condition. I guess because of soccer.
Yeah, they play a lot of sports on here. Field hockey.
O'Neal comes in motion. Handoff is to Drumba again.
Driven back nicely.
And Jaremba will pick up about 3, and it'll bring up a 3rd down for Sayreville.
And I'll tell you, number 7 in there for the Bears.
What do we got there? Not a familiar number. Oh, yes, of course, Richie Whalen. What am I
Richie
talking
Whalen
about?
led the team in tackles last year.
Right.
We should be familiar with him.
Well, a key 3rd down play here.
Ball sitting at the Sayreville 40. It's 3rd and about, let's call it a long 2.
You know, with this running game by both teams, this game's going to go a little faster.
Yeah. Faster than what we're accustomed to. LaFerge, quick pitch. Dremba, the ball jumps up in the air and dropped right there for a loss.
I'll tell you, dangerous play there.
Right, Lorenzo was the first one back there, but just that uncertainty with Jaremba not getting a handle on it was enough to cause him to slow down, and Lorenzo came right in and made the play.
I'll tell you, the Bombers fortunate to hold on to the ball. High pitch up there, he's hit about time, he pulled it back down. Could have been a fumble. At least they get an opportunity.
So with the loss, it'll be 4th and 6.
And Edison last week kicked away from Kolheim. I would not be surprised to see the same thing with Sayreville.
Alawachko to do the punting. Gets off a beautiful punt.
Oh, let's see. Oh, Greg
And Kolheim's going to let it bounce, and it's going to bounce inside the 10-yard line. And you got to feel that one, Phil.
I'll tell you,
should have caught
it. Really do. It's a great punt by the young fellow there.
So the Bears will be deep in their own territory when they go on offense. 47 seconds left here in the first quarter.
And that's what this game is going to be about, gentlemen, is field position. And that's a 52-yard punt.
And puts East Brunswick back in the hole, back on the what? Would you say, John? 8-yard line?
It looks like the 8, Jim, yes.
Okay.
1st and 10 for East Brunswick.
And East Brunswick not wanting to do something like a turnover.
Kolheim, little inside handoff to Sabatino. Sabatino gets to the 10.
And I imagine that's going to be the last play of the quarter. Gets about 3.5 yards on the play. What do we got here?
We have a timeout, Sayreville.
Well, there is no wind advantage whatsoever.
With 12 seconds remaining on the clock.
Phil, can you figure that one out?
That may be partial to a certain part of the end zone there. You don't. The fact of the matter is that you do have some distraction down here. Down here, you have pretty much nothing. They might be like the Bears. The Bears like to score on their south end most of the time, and maybe that's something to do with it.
You want to waste the timeout, Sayreville? Be my guest.
Well, I'm sure they don't see it as wasting it, Jim. Sal Mastretta is a class act, one of the better coaches in the state of New Jersey.
Yes, he is.
And if he called timeout, he called that for a good reason.
Well, we recall what Sayreville's program used to be years ago, and a lot of guys, a lot of quality coaches have had a go at trying to elevate this program, and it was when Mastretta came along that they really got over the hump, and it's really been just one of the better programs in the state of New Jersey, actually.
So the Bears will start it off once again. 12 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. They lead 7-0. They're looking at a 2nd and about 7.
And it's the Bears ball.
Kilkenny hands off inside, and dropped right there is Sermonello.
Foy was the one that made that tackle. Didn't get anything on it, really.
Back to the line of scrimmage, so it brings up a big 3rd down play, and that'll be it. The end of the first quarter is upon us, and the Bears on top, 7-0.
So he calls a timeout, and really doesn't get the desired result, other than they got a nice play.
It may have been an adjustment.
Yeah.
Simple adjustment there.
Yeah, we're not on the field, so we don't know if there is a crosswind or something like that might be affecting.
But I'll tell you this, by far the quickest first quarter we've experienced this year.
I'll say.
And a good solid one for both sides of the ball, both teams. If you're a Bear fan, you certainly got to be impressed with the way the Bears have come out here. I talked about the fact that there's been no fear when dealing with the Bombers, but they respect each other. Most of these kids know each other. They spend some time in the BMY camp, which is run by both Borden and Mastretta. So it's good, healthy, friendly competition. You won't see any mouthing off or anything like that. They're just going to go out there and play the game. That's the way it's always been.
Well, Marcus Borden is on the field with his team. He's looking at a 3rd and at least 7 from our vantage point.
And I'll tell you what, Kolheim only has 13 yards in the first quarter, so that's a far cry. He had 237 yards in the first half last week against Edison. And I look for him to be more of a factor. Watch for him to break the line of scrimmage, and once he does, if he's in the clear, very difficult to catch.
Well, he's only attempted 1 pass thus far, and he's got a chance to do it here on a 3rd and 7. Ball sitting at the East Brunswick 10. That may prevent him from putting it in the air. He still has it, trying to find a spot. Still on his feet, ball's loose. Fumble, Sayreville's got it.
Mercy, mercy, mercy.
That's what you didn't want to do. Kolheim has been victimized once in a while on the turnovers, and there's a big one right there.
Well, he was racked. Kolheim broke loose, tried to pick up some additional yardage, and the Bombers closed down on him and knocked the ball loose, and a big break for the Bombers.
The Bombers will have it on the East Brunswick 20-yard line, 1st and 10, as we start this second quarter.
And
Phil, no matter what level, turnovers kill you.
they certainly do. A great equalizer.
LaFerge, quick pitch to the outside. Jaremba finds a low running room, picks up about 2 yards.
Quick reaction by East
I'll tell you, LaFerge did the same pitch he did the last time. I think it's a little high. That ball is up there. Jaremba pulled it down nicely, and held on to it, but when you pitch the ball up that high, you're asking for trouble.
Well, that looked like it had the makings of some big yardage, but the East Brunswick defense, led by May, closed up nicely. And what is it, 2-yard gain, perhaps?
Drimba gets to the 18 rather of East Brunswick, so it'll be 2nd and 8. Put receivers out left and right. O'Neill comes in motion.
Whoops.
And Walsh falls, ball's loose.
Loose ball.
And they're saying East Brunswick, a flag is thrown.
No, that's not a flag. It's a marker, John. East Brunswick
All
gets
right,
every
East
fumble.
Brunswick's got it.
Yep.
So an exchange of turnovers.
Don't know who caught that, or excuse me, got that ball, but big turnover for.
Well, I'll tell you, the offensive back coming out of the backfield just lost his feet for the Bombers. Never did get to the ball, and quarterback handed off to no one. The Bears come up with the ball.
All right, East Brunswick dodges a bullet.
And we talked about turnovers, and in a game like this, turnovers will kill you either way.
What do we got here?
Even Steven right here.
Official timeout.
Kohlheim's having a little trouble with his helmet. And we'll have that looked at. So East Brunswick will take over on the fumble recovery. And they'll have the ball, it looks to be at their own 19-yard line.
All right, Kohlheim, I thought Phil was a little loose on holding that ball on that run.
Kohlheim gives inside.
I think that's
And
Sabatino.
I'm not sure. It looks like Sermonello, 44. And he gets close to the 25-yard line before he's dragged down.
And we talked about his strength before.
6 yards.
He's not running against any weaklings here. It's this Sayreville defensive line is clearly one of the better in the counties there.
Right.
And Sermonello staying on his feet, picking up some good yardage.
Picks up close to 6. Let's call it 2nd and about 4.
Well, Sermonello with 6 carries thus far, and as far as I'm concerned, that can only be positive for East Brunswick because it free ups Kohlheim.
Kohlheim quickly. I think that's Kwan on the carry. He's going to be close to the first down.
Ouyang Kwan, close but not quite.
Looks to be about a yard short, perhaps?
They're going to measure.
Okay, they're going to measure. You understand what I'm saying, Phil?
I'll tell you.
Kohlheim not carrying the ball as much, electing to give it to his backs.
Well, Jim, it's the read. Part of the E-bone is that he does reading there. If there's something there, he gives it to the back. If not, he keeps it himself. They got that first down.
Yes, they did.
So Kwan with the first down gives East Brunswick 1st and 10 from their own 28-yard line.
A little bit more breathing room. And boy, this game is moving along.
East Brunswick has attempted only 1 pass thus far this evening. It was incomplete. They do have Tangway wide left. Kohlheim fakes into the line, keeps, turns the corner, slips 1 tackle and a flag, and I think we're going to have a hold
2
against
flags.
East Brunswick.
Let's see who they get.
And you're right, that's usually where the holding is, and I think one might have been a hold, another one a crackback block, right?
Yeah, Tangway was guilty of a clip on that.
So it'll move East Brunswick back.
So another mistake by the Bears. And against a team like Sayreville, you can't make too many. They were lucky, fortunate the first time. Sayreville fumbled the ball right back. But this is going to put East Brunswick back again, deep in its territory.
Still, East Brunswick, when you think of the two teams, the big play team is the Bears. I mean, we talk about muddling along and then all of a sudden breaking one. Out of the two teams there, clearly the Bears are that team. The Bombers will take it at you.
Illegal block against East Brunswick will move them back to the 11-yard line, where it will be 1st and 25. Kohlheim keeps around the left side, has some running room. Ball almost dropped out again, Jim.
Well, they were growing for it that time. Definitely, that has to be a tactic that Sayreville's trying to employ.
I'll tell you, the Bomber defense closing down nicely. Kohlheim getting some room, but it's closing up rather quickly.
He got a 10-yard gain on that.
It'll bring up 2nd and about 13.
Okay.
2nd down and 13.
Ball sitting at the East Brunswick 25-yard line. Kilkenny and Tangway come wide right, and they look like they have man coverage.
Watch the blitz. There's Walsh.
Kohlheim. Flag on the play.
I think Walsh
Kwan
was
has the
offside.
ball.
I think Pat Walsh was leaning over.
Quan gets the original line of scrimmage, but a flag is down. And a procedure call against East Brunswick.
And little mistakes start to add up, and we talked about turnovers, but penalties just as well can do you in, and I
wonder if they're going to accept this penalty or refuse it.
They've declined it, and so it'll bring up third down. 3rd and 16. I'm sorry, 3rd and 13.
Let's see where they mark that. Okay. 1 yard pickup.
East Brunswick again, 2 receivers to the right. Kohlheim gives off to Sermonello. Sermonello gets to the line of scrimmage.
Ooh.
Still on his feet, got the first down. And look at this guy go. They're going to say his forward progress was stopped at the 42-yard line.
But clearly it was, but you got to like the firepower of this young fellow here.
Just a junior. And I'll tell you what, guys, early in the game, but that was an important first down.
That's an extremely important first down. Got their backs from out of the hole there, and
again, it gives the Bears a little bit more breathing room.
A lot more breathing room.
You know.
1st and 10 for the Bears.
Trips to the left here. No, I'm sorry. That's Quan going off.
Kilkenny gives to Sermonello once again.
Boy, look at him drive.
And Sermonello twists his way for a pickup of about 3.
And we said it time and time again, Sermonello is the strongest player on the East Brunswick Bear team. And you get a good, you see why.
Phil, you know, you were saying that Frank Sermonello could be a key player. And thus far, he has been.
Well, I didn't say it. Sal Mastretta said it. He said that we got to stop Frank Sermonello. He did not say Kohlheim first. He said Sermonello first. Took me by a little bit surprised, but apparently he knows what he's talking about.
2nd and 8. I think he's got more than 2. I'm going to say it's 2nd and about 6. Ball right at the East Brunswick 45-yard line. Quan.
Tough yards here, but they're making some forward progress.
I'll tell you, a bevy of backs. You got Oyan Quan, you got Sabatino, Cimarello.
Quan gets it to the 49-yard line. It'll bring up 3rd and 3. Clock down to 6:30 remaining before halftime. Bears on top, 7-0. Sayreville's defense has been on the field a long time this half.
I am still waiting for Kohlheim to break that line of scrimmage.
2 receivers to the right. Kohlheim, quarterback draw. Actually a sneak, and he has the first down.
Yes, he does. Nice play. I think he called that on his own. It's all the opening.
Well, what they're doing, they're mixing up things rather well. A number of players are touching the ball right now, and got the Bombers guessing where they're coming from. Doing a fine job of mixing it up.
Now they're going to measure.
This guy's measuring everything tonight.
we have a little better perspective, but he's comfortably made this.
First down for the Bears. It's official as they move into Sayreville territory. Ball spotted at the Sayreville 47-yard line. So East Brunswick keeps the drive alive with its 2nd first down of the drive. Kohlheim again puts 2 receivers to the right. Keeps the ball. I'm sorry, faked me out.
Misdirection there.
He's still up.
Look, and he's still moving.
It's got to be Sermonello.
I'll tell you what, this is thus far, this is a classic drive for East Brunswick. Nothing but power going against power.
Sermonello picks up 6. Control the game and the clock, Phil, thus far.
Well, if the other team can't score, as long as you have the ball.
Tell you what, you look around now, there is a lot of folks here, both sides of the field.
Bears just grinding it out rather successfully. Quan trying to sneak in.
Nothing there.
And they'll stop him right at the line of scrimmage, so it'll bring up 3rd down.
And a host of Bomber tacklers.
That might have been Sabatino, John, 33. Okay, what do they give him? No gain?
And Plumacher leading the attack.
Another third down situation for the Bears.
Ajibitosho and Tangwe go wide left. Pitch back to Kwan.
Whoa.
Kwan has the corner and it close to the first down.
Yeah, but there's a flag.
Few flags, I tell you. We haven't seen that pitch much. When we talk about the option for the Bears, it's usually Simonello or Kohlheim. Haven't seen the pitch that much. That time they pitched. And if the flag isn't against them, they have the first down.
Well, I think this is going to go against them. This is another crackback block.
Blocking below the waist.
So that'll move him back on that third down.
That's a tough one because Sabatino got the first down. And this is I believe, a 15-yarder, am I right?
Yeah.
Correct.
That's what makes it extremely difficult.
Third down and about 20 for East Brunswick.
Okay, the Bears have been reluctant to go to any type of passing game. They've thrown one pass. Kohlheim showing a little emotion in the huddle there. I guess he's the leader and trying to get everybody on the same page, but we may definitely see something here, a rollout pass by Kohlheim. Let's see.
I think East Brunswick would be settled. That's what I thought they'd be doing.
Well, on a 3rd and 20 play, it's a dive play in the middle.
Well, the very point is they played safe right there.
Right.
Why put it up? They got a 7-0 lead here. The defense is playing well. They didn't want to do anything stupid.
I think the Bombers conceded that, East Brunswick conceded that they were not going to get a first down on that play, and I think they just wanted to set it up and let their punter, Keith Figaro.
Number 87, Keith Figaro.
Figaro will be back to punt with 3:40 showing on the clock.
Boy, I'll tell you, Joseph is deep for Sayreville.
Good snap. Figaro has it blocked. Picked up by Sayreville. And they'll have it.
And fortunate that Figaro made the tackle on that play.
And I'll tell you, Brian Slavic,
Okay.
number 21, blocked that punt attempt for the Bombers, and
Special teams play.
So just when momentum looked to be going East Brunswick's way, Sayreville comes up with a big block of a punt. And they will have it 1st and 10 from the East Brunswick 34-yard line.
All right. Defense has been successful for East Brunswick thus far, but they're going to be tested again.
LaForge to Walsh. Walsh on the right side picks up a couple.
That's it.
Going over the right side.
And I think we should mention, John, the clock is going to be a factor here if Sayreville continues to run the ball.
Well, they've already used 1 timeout, so they have 2 remaining. Clock down to 2:45.
And they are taking their sweet time.
Gain of 3, 2nd down and 7 from the East Brunswick 33-yard line.
Walsh picks up about 2. Let's call it 2nd and 8. Jaremba finds a hole, spins his way, and looks like he's got, well, he'll be short of the first down.
No.
Close,
Depends on where
John.
they mark it. If it's over the line, let's see. You're right. He's short.
It'll be 3rd and about 1.
I'll tell you, Gary Jaremba, fine-looking running back there.
3rd down and 1.
Clock down to 2 minutes remaining before halftime. Unbalanced line to the right for Sayreville. And that's the way they go. Jaremba tries to sneak his way in, but
No, he didn't
nothing
make it.
doing.
I'll tell you,
He's
well,
gonna be short.
Let's see where the forward motion is, gentlemen.
And watch, I think Sayreville might call a timeout. What do you think? Because he is short.
Let's see this.
They're not even bringing the change. They're saying 4th down. 4th and 1. Clock is still running down to 1:30.
I'll tell you, it's 4th and a fraction.
Okay, here we go.
And this might be
Big
a
play here
sneak.
for Sayreville. They go back to a balanced line. Inside goes Jaremba. He's got the first down and more as he gets down to the 20-yard line. And they're going to take a timeout.
Yeah.
So timeout on the field. Sayreville takes their second. 1:10 showing on the clock.
20
East
yards
Brunswick
to
on
go.
top, 7-0.
20 yards. for the Bombers is a lot of yards to make, I would say.
I'll tell you, this has been a well-played game for both teams there. We knew the Bombers would be an impressive team by what they've done this year. The Bears have come in and played a real solid game on both sides of the ball, and what you're seeing is just good hard running and good hard hitting out there. I'll tell you, you take a look out on the field now, and as both coaches are out there, these coaches not only worked in the BMY camp together, but also in the first Snapple Bowl, the All-Star game. And if anybody got to give credit for it, two of the guys that are on the field right now, Marcus Borden and Sal Mastretta were responsible for bringing that Snapple Bowl where the Middlesex County All-Stars played the Union County All-Stars, not only getting the game together, but they kicked some tail that day, too. I happened to be at the game.
That's right.
So certainly a good start.
1st and 10 for the Bombers from the East Brunswick 20-yard line. A little counter again. Here comes O'Neill, and O'Neill will fall forward for a yard.
He had it sniped out.
Well, slow developing counter.
And Sayreville's going to have to hurry up here.
They have 1 timeout remaining, clock down to 57 seconds.
2nd down and 9 for Sayreville.
And rather slow, Jim, getting the play on the field.
Well, it's just there. I think it's Mastretta style. We're not going to rush things. We're confident. We think we can move the ball.
Yeah, here's your pass play right here.
LaFerge drops back, looks over the middle, throws it high.
Wow.
Joseph catches it, and at the 1-inch line, it looks to be.
And I'll tell you, Omar Joseph,
32 seconds.
5'8", 150 pounds, just a freshman, came up with a big catch right there.
And Sayreville will have 4 cracks at about 6 inches for the score.
And you can expect to see Mr. Walsh here, I believe.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Walsh it is.
He stopped.
He's going to be dropped for a loss.
And they're going to have to call their last time out here.
And they do.
And I'll tell you, the Bear defense showing a little character there, regardless of what happens there.
Yeah, he was thrown back for a loss, as a matter of fact, back to the 1-yard line. That ball was almost on the goal line. So East Brunswick's defense had penetration.
It'll be 2nd down and inches to go.
And I'll tell you see Nick Spadafino, defensive coordinator, walking out there, and they have done a job with this Bear team, particularly defensively. They've really done the job. The problems that they have had, John, have been with the pass defense. But as far as the run defense, they've been solid all year. And a good example of it right there. That ball was on the centimeter line right there. And
got that right.
And they knocked them back.
But it's that pass defense, Phil, that got him in the hole here at the moment. And now East Brunswick will have to hold tough.
And I'll tell you what, this is going to be interesting because, what is it, 2nd down? If Sayreville does not get in on this play, and if it's not a pass play, they could have trouble getting off another play.
Here we go, 17 seconds remaining before halftime. Sayreville has it on about the 1-yard line. 2nd down. Jaremba knocked short of the goal.
I'll tell you.
No signal yet. No, it's 3rd down.
3rd down, clock running.
running.
They're not going to get it off. 7, 6 seconds, 4 seconds.
Stopped.
And he stopped, and they will not score.
Whoa, is the ball
ball's
alive?
thrown back. It doesn't matter. East Brunswick has held them at halftime.
Hey, what a tremendous play by that defense. Look at the East Brunswick side of the field right there.
Look at the side of the field. Look at the stands over there. And why not? They just done a yeoman's job right there. 3 downs on the 1-yard line there, and the Bears have stopped them. Just a tremendous job.
Jimmy, you called it, that timeout down there in that first half.
Bill, you got to admit it. Sal
First quarter.
Mastretta called that timeout. He needed it at that point right there. Woo!
I'll tell you, just a tremendous defensive job. No way to put it there. We talked about the Bear defense against the run. They've done it all year, and they needed it right then and there and came through.
I'll tell you why it's so important. This is the type of game where 7 points is going to mean a lot, and to deny Sayreville with just the, well, they were down the what?
Oh, it was the nose of the ball.
Half-inch yard, and on 3 plays, tremendous effort, and it has to inspire them as they go into halftime.
Well, it's halftime here at Sayreville. The Bears are on top 7-0, and you've missed a whale of a first half if you're just joining us, and we'll be back with the start of the 3rd quarter in just a moment. Well, welcome back to the East Brunswick-Sayreville game here at Sayreville High School. And gentlemen, I'll tell you what, that stand at the end of that second quarter was the best I've ever seen in a high school game. I have to be honest with you.
Well, I'll tell you this, John, it's the type of things that you talk about years from now. Of course, it helps if you win the game.
That's for sure.
But that is something when you're in your high school career that you'll be talking about from years to now. And you playing Sayreville, a ranked team in the state of New Jersey here. And on the 1-inch line, you turn them back 3 times.
I'll tell you what, if I was a betting man and you gave me that situation, I'd take the odds on Sayreville scoring every
without
time.
a doubt, without a doubt. And Jim, what I was talking about before, how important was that timeout at near the end of the first quarter that Sayreville took?
I was talking to some of the fans here, and they were bemoaning the same fact. Why take a defensive timeout when you have the team pinned back in your own territory?
I'll tell you, and I gave sort of a flimsy answer there, but it sort of came back to haunt the Bombers right there. You're right, that was a timeout they definitely needed it.
Jim, some quick stats
Yeah,
for
very
us.
quickly. Sermonello had 79 yards, including that 45-yard touchdown jaunt in the first quarter. The only scoring, Beatty's was good on the conversion on the point after. Let's see, when did they score? 9-11.
Of the first quarter?
Right, first possession. Colheim had 26 yards. That's below his normal output. Sabatino 8 yards and Quan 9 yards. Each team passed once. So definitely a running contest.
I'll tell you though,
with a lot of defensive accent.
It's the type of game if you're the Bear team that you like, though.
Right.
There's nothing big that's going to hurt you. You just got to contain this team. They have the ability to contain them. They have the quickness.
Well, Bettis will kick it off for East Brunswick to start this third quarter. 7-0. The Bears are on top. A low kick, line drive, fielded at the 35-yard line and dropped.
Lorenzo, big tackle and good field position for Sayreville because it was a short kick.
I'll tell you again, Jim, you mentioned good tackle, and we've been saying it all year. A well-coached team. I mean, the way these kids tackle and whatnot are just the way it's supposed to be done. And you're right, Dan Lorenzo coming up with a good, solid tackle there.
All righty. Needless to say, with the clock running-oriented games for each team, each possession is going to be very important.
Well, good field position for Sayreville as they start at their own 40. 1st and 10. LaFerge is the quarterback. He gives it to Jaremba.
He's racked up.
Jaremba will pick up 2, and that'll be it.
And I'll tell you, if you don't think this defense believes in themselves, gentlemen, you just got to keep watching. After all, you got to remember they came in this game only giving up 49 yards per game.
That's correct.
On the ground. Only 49 yards per game.
1.7 yards per carry.
I'll tell you,
so
incredible.
that says something. Yeah, we should have mentioned that up top because 295 yards total rushing for the opponents this whole season. And that should have been a tip-off right away.
2nd and 8 for the Bombers. LaFerge looking to throw. He gets it to the outside to Joseph. And a great one-on-one tackle out there by Kilkenny.
Yes, he did. He stood his ground, and Joseph, the fast freshman, tried to get around him. And that's a no-gainer.
I'll tell you, and once again, the Bears come in, hands up, to sort of get that pass off kilter a little bit, and then Kilkenny came up, as you mentioned, to make the stop.
So it's still 3rd and 8. The ball sitting at the Sayreville 42-yard line. So far, LaFerge is 2 for 2 on the evening throwing. Big 3rd down play for the Bombers. LaFerge, straight handoff to Jaremba, dropped in the backfield, and it'll bring up 4th down.
Lorenzo again. You know, I have to say something. Dan Lorenzo started off very, very hot. We were calling his name a lot during the beginning of the season, and then you weren't calling his name. And for some reason, I was questioning. I said, what's going on with Lorenzo, El Loco, as they call him?
Right.
And, boy, he has emerged in this game.
Well, he has come in, but different offenses cause you to do different things defensively. Paul Dumas was there as well.
The Bombers will punt it away. Colheim and Whalen back deep.
Oops.
A low
Got a
kick.
flag, John.
And the ball will go out of bounds around the East Brunswick 35-yard line, but a flag is down.
What is this?
Procedure against Sayreville. That'll move him back 5, or East Brunswick
they're
can
gonna
take
refuse.
it.
You can see Marcus Borden across the way, waving his arms, saying, do not take that penalty. Good field position for the Bears. Going to be at the 36-yard line, I believe.
They're still talking about it, Jim.
It is procedure against Sayreville. It will be declined by East Brunswick, and and the Bears rather will go on to offense.
Now you remember, Sayreville started off with excellent field position. It was a short kickoff. They had the ball starting at the 40-yard line. So I maintain that was an important stop for East Brunswick.
1st and 10 for the Bears. They lead 7-0.
Kolheim yet to get loose. I have 5 carries, including that 1 fumble.
Kolheim fakes it to Sermonello, breaks through, and he'll pick up 6 yards.
And I tell you, he's getting to be a rather adept ball handler there. I thought Sermonello had it as well, and Kolheim comes out of the pack to pick up 6 yards.
Well, I'll tell you what, if it wasn't for O'Neill, Kolheim was gone.
There's somewhat of an uneasiness, though, in this kind of game, 7-0 game, Phil. I'm sure you want something more than to hang your hat on 1 touchdown.
Well, you want to control the ball, keep the ball out of their hands, first of all, and don't make mistakes.
Right. You guys, we can reflect back 2 weeks ago against the Piscataway team when East Brunswick had a seemingly comfortable 8-point lead in the 4th quarter.
2nd and 4 for the Bears. From their own 42-yard line, Kolheim steps up. And he's going to be close to the 1st down. I'm not sure he got it.
Well, it'd be worth a measurement, I'm sure.
He seems to be a little short, but Jim, you brought up something before. When Kolheim turns up towards the middle there, he's got to tuck that ball. If he's hitting to the outside, you might be able to get away with it. But when you're coming back up that middle where you're liable to get hit from either side, you got to put that ball away.
Not only that, but Sayreville is coached to go after the ball. That's the defensive nature of the Bombers. They've gotten more than their share of turnovers.
First down, East Brunswick.
Okay, and almost up to me, 46-yard line here.
So the 1st down will give East Brunswick an opportunity to move into Sayreville territory. They have a 7-0 lead, clock showing 8:40 here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. I think a somewhat conservative approach by the Bears here.
Kolheim gives it inside to Sabatino, I believe.
He's stuffed.
Nothing there.
And you've heard Bluemacher's name all night tonight, number 73. And he's done a super job there. Bluemacher, Walsh coming in as well.
He's one of those big linemen, along with Heath Daniel and Mike Foy.
No gain on the carry, so it's 2nd and 10.
Guys, remember now, this Sayreville's playing a lot of their guys both ways here. We just gonna have to make note of that as this game goes on.
And we're gonna have a procedure against East Brunswick. The right tackle moved.
Right, on the right side there. A little anxious to get off the ball.
Procedure against EB.
And has Sayreville been flagged yet? I don't think they've had a penalty. 1? Okay.
On the punt.
Yes.
So it'll move East Brunswick back a little bit further. Still keeping it at 2nd down. But now it'll be 2nd and 15. From their own 40, Kilkenny looks over to defense. He has 2 men to the right. He rolls right. Looks like he's going to put it in the air. Sets up, throws, hit from behind.
Oh.
Tangway almost made the catch.
Right, a little low. It was rushed. I think he heard some footsteps. O'Neill coming back.
Only 2nd pass for Kolheim tonight.
I'll tell you, some pressure was put on Kolheim. Matter of fact, I thought he was hit as the pass went off.
Yeah, I kind of thought so too. Maybe just a little bit to get the pass with a little lack of velocity.
And that was Bluemacher again coming in, putting the pressure on.
So 3rd and 15 now for East Brunswick.
First team all-conference, Mary Huguenin, Lauren Eberhardt, and Melinda Caro.
Beautiful evening here tonight at Sayreville. And the fans have been treated to a great game. The Bears on top 7-0 as Kolheim rolls to his left, steps up. Sidesteps 1 tackler, but it's not going to get much more than that.
I'll tell you, he didn't get much there, but the initial block by one of the Bears offensive backs.
All right, nice job by Sayreville's defense. And Figaro is going to have to watch himself on this punt. He's been a little slow getting rid of it.
Well, you better believe they talked about it at halftime. And Marcus has made it clear, we don't want to see another block punt. Get that ball up and out.
Joseph goes back
Quickly.
deep for Sayreville. Figaro in to punt it away. He's had 1 block tonight. Gets this one off.
And look at Lorenzo down there.
Joseph will field it at his own 20. Sidesteps 1 tackler and is stopped at about the 31-yard line.
And fine pursuit by the Jesse James gang. Specialty teams doing a nice job.
From the Bomber 31-yard line.
And I'll tell you, if you're the Bombers, you got to be a little concerned because you got to get something going here. Fact of the matter is, you're in the third quarter with about 6.5 minutes left, and you got to get something going.
Yeah, time's a waste, and 6-second possession only for this quarter. And like you say, when you're running, the clock moves.
LaFerge calling signals, gives the pitch. Jarimba
Super containment by the Bear defense on that one.
puts his head down, picks up 3.
The right side.
Defensive end, Beatty, played his position well, turned O'Neill in, and the rest of the defense made the tackle.
Second and about 6. Jarimba picked up 4 on the play. Ball sitting at the Sayreville 35-yard line. Walsh inside, bowls his way across the 35.
All right, that was totally his effort. And we can talk a little bit, Phil, about heart and desire, because this is where the tough yards are going to be. I mean, you can see as this game unfolds that it's going to mean which team has the most heart and desire to win this game, because it's up for grabs right now.
It's up for grabs, no doubt about it, Jim.
7-0 is not a safe score for East Brunswick.
Third and less than 1 for the Bombers. They need this to keep the drive going. And a penalty.
Someone lined up in the neutral zone? That's
Probably. That's what happened.
And they're going to say East Brunswick was offsides. And that'll give Sayreville the first down.
A tough way.
You want to give them anything easy at this point.
And you see Dumas looking over the side, and I'm sort of telling him to put whoever was offsides, put him in check quickly. Costly penalty right there.
So it'll be first down for the Bombers from their own 45-yard line. 5:08 remaining, third quarter. They trail 7-0. LaFerge looking, throws over the middle, he's got his man, it's O'Neill. And LaFerge, who isn't known for being a passer, is 3 for 3 tonight.
Oh, he put that one on the money right there.
All right, and he has more than an adequate receiver in O'Neill, who is just a simply wonderful, versatile athlete for Sayreville. He plays super defense. He made a name for himself as a sophomore last year, and he can do it all.
Short of the first down, so it'll bring up second and about 1 for the Bombers. More importantly, they're in East Brunswick territory. Walsh has a big hole on the right side, and he's got the first down.
I'll tell you, Pat Walsh puts his head down and just goes.
And East Brunswick player a little slow. That was Whalen. Walking around a little gingerly, and hey, this is the first time Sayreville's had a concerted drive going for them in quite a long while.
They have it on the East Brunswick 40. First and 10. Two receivers to the left. Walsh is the lone setback. First time we've seen this formation. Walsh gets it, and he gets back to the line of scrimmage.
I'll tell you, and the Bear defense is right there. Smelt it out and right there.
Phil, I get this feeling that East Brunswick has scouted Sayreville very well. They seem to be a step ahead in a lot of situations.
Well, you know they have. This is a big game for them. As far as preparing the team, Marcus, not few coaches do as good of a job. They know each other. They know the personnel. They know the kids. And you better believe they're both ready for each other.
Yeah, Phil, and they know each other's tendencies, I would think.
Exactly.
So no gain by Walsh on that play. We'll bring up second and 10. Ball remains at the 40-yard line. Clock showing 3:25 left in the third quarter. Go back to that same formation with Walsh being the lone setback. LaFerge, deep drop, looking, being pressured. He's going to be dropped for a loss. Oh, no.
Oh, yes, I said the same thing.
Gosh.
Jeez. Sherman came up nicely to make the tackle, and then a personal foul against the Bears to nullify the stop.
And we'll look at that play as being very big, because that turned into a 3rd and 20. And now is going to, I think, an automatic first down on a personal
And
foul.
I'll tell you, we talked about mistakes. You can't make mistakes that cost you penalties. And there's another big play here that's going to cost the Bears dearly.
There can't be too much discussion here. So they'll mark it off 15 from that point. Should bring the ball down to the 33-yard line.
As they march off the penalty, a big penalty.
A big one. Well, got to look at the silver lining on that one. East Brunswick was able to get to Lafarge for the first time. And it's not a first down, guys.
No, it brings up a 3rd and 5 rather.
Right, it was a dead ball foul, so the down was over.
Here we go from East Brunswick 35-yard line. Here's that counter to O'Neill, and nowhere again.
They got him.
I'll tell you, just a super job. And on the bottom there, you have Bettis.
So 4th down, Sayreville's going to go for it.
Wow. We're getting big play after big play here.
So this could be a big play of the night, Jim. Quite honestly, 4th and 8. The ball sitting at the East Brunswick 38-yard line. 3 receivers to the left. Lafarge looks over the middle, throws, got his man.
It's first down.
And it's first down, Sayreville. The catch made by number 21, that's
24. 24.
24, is it?
Big first down for the Bombers.
Mahoney.
On a 4th down.
An awfully big first down. And we talked about this young man. We didn't know whether the Bombers really had much of a passing game. I believe he's 4 for 4 right now, and right on the money there.
All right, somebody down for the Bears.
We can't see who it is at the moment.
I'll see if I can find out. That looks to be, I think it's, is it Whalen? I believe it is.
It is Whalen, number 7.
Well, did he not have a early season injury, guys? I can't remember. It was a shoulder separation.
He had a shoulder injury, that's for sure.
All right, so this
and
is
if you notice, 2 plays before that, Whalen was down for a little bit while. I don't think he ever recovered, and probably took a shot there and has to go out the.
Well, Sayreville has it, 1st and 10 from the East Brunswick 27-yard line. 1:48 remaining, 3rd quarter. They trail 7-0. And Lafarge looking to pass is going to be sacked again.
Yeah, there you go. Bettis.
Chris Bettis again coming up with another big play.
And we got a flag downfield.
What is it?
I don't know. And I think it's against the Bears.
What would it be? I mean, it can't be interference.
Way downfield.
I think it's against Jermaine.
Holding
against East Brunswick.
Oh, that's another tough one. That's an automatic first down.
I'll tell you, and if you're Marcus Borden, you're pulling out your heels right now. Your team's playing an excellent game, and then what you have is mistakes hurting the team right here. And Marcus is beside himself. You see him talking to the officials there and wants to know what's going on here.
Well, in situations like that, sometimes you let it go. Now, what is Mistretta talking about here?
I think it's about where they mark off the foul.
And Mistretta's the foul is against the Bears, and Mistretta's out on the field, and he's rather hot.
I think he wants an interference call, not a holding call, which would be a 15-yard penalty. Here it's a 5.
But it is a first down.
Yes.
And now they're explaining it to Borden across the other side of the field.
And Marcus, you can't blame, first of all, two penalties that really hurt the team. And then when everything's said and done, it's Mistretta that comes out down the field that convinces the official that it should be a different call. Marcus wants to know what's going on. Talk to me first.
Yeah, and that's the reason why he's out there.
Well, we've got it straightened out. Good, bad, or indifferent. It's going to be first down for the Bombers.
And Sayreville going to the air an awful lot now.
It's 1st and 13. Go figure.
Oh, I see. Okay.
It's from the tackle, I believe, when the quarterback was
Right.
sacked. That's where it was tacked on from. Anyway, LaFeur's thrown deep.
Joseph had a
Oh,
nice
and
job.
Kilkenny gets in the way.
Right,
tell
had
you.
his hand up there.
David Kilkenny has been a solid at the cornerbacks all year and coming up with a big play there. It's just he and Joseph out there alone, and Kilkenny got the job done.
Yeah, LaFleur is starting to loosen up the arm now, which has to loosen up East Brunswick's defense, but it also gives them an opportunity to rush the passer, and they've been successful a couple times in getting to Lafarge. And you got to think that the Bombers are going to be in a passing situation here.
2nd and 13. Ball sitting at the East Brunswick 30. Sayreville trailing East Brunswick 7-0 with 1:18 showing on the clock. LaFerge keeps trying to buy some time. Looks to his right. He's got his man dropped by Walsh.
I'll tell you.
I'll also tell you something.
Oh, no.
Another
What do we
flag,
got?
a late hit? Oh, come on.
They're saying.
Wait a minute now. You can't be throwing flags like that.
Well, I'll tell you.
That was not a late hit.
I'll tell you what, when you start seeing flags like that,
Ugh.
when you start seeing flags like that, I've been around football long enough, that may not be on the player so much. It may be on something that was said before. If the umpire's teed off with a coach or so, he may be taking it out there.
Look at Borden.
Don't like to see.
He's on the field.
We saw what happened. Clearly there was a bump there. Walsh turned around, got bumped slightly. Unless they're saying he threw an elbow, John.
You said it slightly.
It's a big one.
And I mean, we have to go back and just track this whole drive, and how Sayreville has been benefited by play after play. You know, something I wanted to mention before that flag was thrown, Joseph was behind his defender, and if LaFerge could have connected with him, that would have been a touchdown.
Well, it's 1st and 10 for Sayreville. The ball at the East Brunswick 15-yard line. And here comes Jaremba inside the 10.
Sure, why not? Because the East Brunswick defense is spread out.
I'll tell you, the penalties start taking the winds out of your sails. Not anything you've done. You've played great defense all day, and then these penalties come, but penalties are a part of the game.
2nd and about 4, pickup of 6. The ball spotted at the East Brunswick 8.5-yard line.
And they can get another first down on this. All they have to do is get to the 5.
I'll tell you, one big defensive play here will put things back in order.
They go back to the I formation. Walsh up the middle, still on his feet.
He's got a first.
He's inside the 10-yard line. And he does have the first, Jim.
And you see, you feel the momentum shift here, gentlemen.
Yeah.
And clearly the crowd for Sayreville getting in the game more now.
So it's 1st and goal for the Bombers.
It's going to take another East Brunswick defensive effort, much the same way they finished off the first half, to deny Sayreville from getting in the end zone.
Sayreville's going to have to hustle up on that ball. We're down to 4 seconds. And that's it, delay a game.
No, I think that's just the end of the quarter, John.
Nope, they threw the flag.
No, the official was watching his clock. Sayreville could not get the play in. And we're going to have it.
But Mastretta's pointing to the clock, saying the clock's run out of time there. How can you call that
saying
delay of game?
Guys, official's going to say
1 second.
penalty flag before.
That's right. There was
Yeah.
a second showing when the flag was thrown.
So they're going to have to put a second back on.
The ball is back to the EB10. 1st and goal from the 10.
Hey, 10 yards is an awful long way to go. It's twice as much as 5. Big penalty.
That's profound, Tim.
I know.
From the 10, Jaremba to about the 6.
We will see how profound it is.
And we'll switch to the other end of the field as the end of the 3rd quarter comes. And rather exciting and unusual 3rd quarter.
I tell you, Halloween was just the other day, so we got a little trick-or-treating here. It's been a strange third quarter.
Wow, you know, Sayreville had this drive started from the 35 and literally helped along by a series of yellow flags.
489. Please report to the press box.
Well, certainly a lot of yellow on the field in that 3rd quarter, and it was not benefiting East Brunswick. So we go to the final 12 minutes. The Bears holding on to a very tenuous 7-0 lead. But Sayreville has the ball in East Brunswick territory inside the 10-yard line. Need to suck it up one more time, Phil, on D.
I tell you, You want to talk, we talked about character building before. They did a wonderful job the first half. They're down pretty much in the same situation. Sayreville certainly has an opportunity to take that ball in, but if you're the East Brunswick defense, you got to believe in yourself. You did it before. You got to believe you can do it again.
Tell you how this game has gone. East Brunswick had the ball exactly one series in the third quarter. And this is only the second time Sayreville's had the ball. I think they took over with about 6.5 minutes left to go. And has consumed all that time in the third quarter.
Jimmy, the next big one for the Bears, I mean, we're certainly not looking past this game, but Woodbridge is yet to come up on the Bears schedule.
Yep. I don't even want to think about that game. But you're right. If the Bears do win tonight, it puts them in position of clinching a playoff berth if they can get past Woodbridge.
Here we go. It's second and goal for the Bombers. The ball spotted at about the 7-yard line of East Brunswick. Quick pitch back to Dremba.
They got him.
Slipped and fell down around the 10-yard line.
East Brunswick has contained that wide run all evening.
We haven't seen much good come of that pitch for the Bombers. They seem to be very uncomfortable with it. I mentioned several times, I thought the pitch was rather high, where the young player has to reach up for it, gather himself, then try to get his footing. Now, you can do it, but you got to bring it down a little bit.
Third down, a loss on the play.
Passing situation.
LaFerge calling signals, I formation. He's going to drop back, looking over the middle, throws, and
he's on his back.
I knew that was coming.
He's on his back, no doubt about it.
Yeah, it was the right call.
So pass interference call is going to go against East Brunswick and make it first and goal once again for Sayreville.
How many penalty flags? Not that that was a bad call, believe me.
No.
But this has got to be about the 6th, 7th penalty flag this drive.
That's far too many, Jim. I mean, you can't play a team quality of Sayreville and give them that much yardage.
Now, half the distance is the mark-off, so the ball is still on the 4-yard line, but it's a first down.
First and goal from the 4. The Bombers have it. Jaremba tripped as he gets across the line of scrimmage, maybe picks up a yard.
Boy, these are tough yards.
And I believe that was
yeah, I apologize for not being able to get the numbers on the
Sean Daly. Sean Daly coming in there, taking his feet out from under him.
We're in the fourth quarter. The Bears on top 7-0. Sayreville has the ball. Second and goal from about the 4-yard line.
It doesn't look like they gave him more than a half yard on that play.
I'll tell you, I'm trying to go up that gut.
LaFerge, this time to Dremba.
No signal yet.
Short of the goal again. Brings up third down. East Brunswick had one goal line stand this evening.
And it's about a half yard shy of being in the end zone.
And that's just about where it was near the end of the second quarter.
Come back to the phrase, no fear.
Well, who wants it?
Can it happen again, Phil?
Anything can happen if you believe.
Here we go. Third and goal. LaFerge gives it to Dremba.
He stopped.
He stopped, no signal. Fourth down, here we go.
I'll tell you.
Tremendous surge by Lenny May there.
I'll tell you, just a tremendous job by the Bear defense. They believe. You ask, could it happen again? Who do you think's more nervous, John, at this point in time?
Me.
Are they going to call timeout?
I would if I were Sayreville.
Well, here's what you got to think about Sayreville. If you run it in there
Here it is.
and don't get it in there, certainly what does it do to you? Of course, do you come up with something else instead of trying to hit that middle there where you haven't had success in about 8 tries?
Here we go.
Here we go.
Fourth down. About a foot to go for the score. Tie this up. Inside. Is it a touchdown?
Yes.
Yes. Walsh finally pushes it over.
And you have to think that that's the guy they wanted to give it to. Pat Walsh has been doing it all night for Sayreville, getting the yards when they needed them, and he kind of did it by himself right there.
Well, you have to say it was inevitable. No one could expect to do the job that the Bears have done defensively in the red zone there.
Hey, do we have an important extra point coming up or what?
I don't know if that was a show of joy or relief on the part of Sayreville.
Well, here's the extra point. Let's take a look
You're
at
right,
it.
Jim. This is a big play right here. Kick is good, and we're tied at 7 with 9:18 remaining in this game.
And I'll tell you, you can give that to the kicker if you want, but I think the holder gets credit for that.
You betcha.
A bad snap. He had to reach back before he could put it down and did a nice job.
Well, we're far from over, but my mind is clicking now with power points and everything else if this game ends in a tie, because it's really going to throw everything in an uproar as far as clearing the picture for the playoffs. But again, we have a lot of time left. What do we got here? 9:18. East Brunswick's had the ball once this half.
There's a lot of ball to be played. I don't think we're going to see any tie, Jim, today.
Okay.
Somebody's got to take this game.
Are you guys surprised at the low scoring?
Well, not really. We knew that the Bears, as I said at the top of the game, John, before you arrived, is that defensively the Bears do an awfully good job there, and we know that the Bombers have a good defense as well. So really not surprised at the low-scoring game.
All right.
The Bears about to receive.
I get the feeling that a mistake could loom big in this game.
Kilkenny and Colheim back deep for East Brunswick. This is going to be Kilkenny. He'll let it go out of bounds, and that'll be a flag. I guess it comes out to the 35, does it not, in high school?
I'm not sure. It might be. Or they
35,
can make
35, yes.
Or they can make them kick it over, quite frankly.
They can. You don't see it happen too much,
Right.
though. I'll tell you what, that cannon going off, we're on top of the field house, or whatever this is, we're on top of up
it's
here.
an excuse for a press box.
Well, I'll tell you, but that cannon going off, and we're sitting very close to the edge here, scares you to death.
No, it scares you to
It
death.
scares
We're
me to
fine. You're jumping every time.
All right, ball is on the 35. And East Brunswick will take it from there.
Okay, and East Brunswick just hasn't had the ball this half. One time this half, and
We'll see what they do with it. They have 9:17 to work with, fourth quarter. We're tied at 7. And the Bears put out 2 receivers wide right. Very few passing attempts by the Bears tonight.
Oops.
And Sermonello is met right at the line of scrimmage, and the momentum has clearly moved to the gray and blue.
I tell you,
like that
it seems to
exchange.
be that way from the defense, from the offense to the defense. Once again, the Bears putting 2 receivers wide right to sort of spread out the Bomber defense, and still the Bombers were in rather tight there and closed things down.
And they really do not want to put the ball up, and I don't blame them, because those defenders for Sayreville are very, very quick and they're sharp.
A loss of 1 by Sermonello makes it 2nd and 11 from the 34-yard line. Kilkenny pitches.
Option.
Kilkenny has it, drops the ball.
Oh!
And we'll see if he fell on it.
It all depends who grabs it. A lot going on in that pile right now.
Oh, mercy.
Nope.
No, they're saying East Brunswick.
Okay.
Sayreville guy emerges.
it.
I'll tell you, Sayreville guys somehow came out with it, but the officials saw who had the ball, called it down. Kilkenny rolled out to do an option pass, pumped once, and on the second pump he was hit. The ball was knocked loose. Jade Tangway was down the field there, attempting to receive that pass.
But I'll tell you what, though, even though East Brunswick got that ball, they seem to have their confidence shaken somewhat here.
8:20, clock rolling, 3rd and 20. Colheim rolls to his left,
And they got him pinned in.
turns the corner, and slips going out of bounds near the 30-yard line.
Okay, Jay
So it'll
Roberts
bring up
coming
a 4th
to tackle.
down.
Defense comes through for the
I'll
Bombers.
tell you, and we talked that momentum from the offense, the breaks the offense have got certainly has swung over to the defense. You got the crowd into the game, and now defense is
And Phil
pumped up.
Colheim is down on the sideline.
Is he? Oh, gosh.
O'Neal and Joseph drop back deep. Number 87, Keith McGarry.
And so there'll be timeout on the field while they look at Greg Kohlheim on the sidelines.
And we certainly hope Greg Kohlheim is okay. Jim, we need to say it. We've been a little hesitant, and we're talking about evaluating him where he is.
Yeah.
He will be, providing that he's healthy, the all-time leading rusher before he leaves East Brunswick High School.
All right, he's up.
And
he needed 155 yards coming into this game.
He won't get it he may not get it this game, but he will get it before the year is out.
All right, Fugaro with a very important punt as East Brunswick back in its own territory. Needs to take some pressure off the defense, and Fugaro gets off a good one.
That's O'Neal.
O'Neal feels it at his own 42-yard line and crosses the 45 to the 46, but Sayreville will have excellent field position. And so now the pressure falls on East Brunswick defense.
Right, only about a minute and a half elapsed off the clock.
Okay, Dave McGowan and Lorenzo coming up with the tackle there.
Well, we've been talking about the East Brunswick defense for most of this game, and certainly the opportunity is there now for them to get it done.
Well, the defense has been doing the job. It's the penalties that have killed them, at least in that third quarter, Jim.
1st and 10 for the Bombers. We're tied at 7, fourth quarter, 7:40 shown on the clock. From their own 46-yard line, Sayreville. Jaremba.
He's caught.
And he's done well to hold on to the ball, quite honestly.
I believe that's Lorenzo back there.
And I'll tell you, nothing has happened good with that pitch for the Bombers.
Right.
I hate to keep belaboring the point, but they haven't picked up anything with that pitch. Well scouted. The Bears are very familiar with what they're going to do and are right there.
A loss of 5, bring up 2nd and 15.
Sayreville has been in a similar situation, but they've been bailed out with penalties, so East Brunswick has to keep its poise.
LaForge puts 2 receivers to the left. They stay in that I formation. LaForge looks to his left, puts over, intercepted Kilkenny. He got the right side. If he can get a block, cuts across the field.
He might be gone.
He's got one guy to beat. Kilkenny steps up. He's got to score.
Oh, mercy.
What a big play.
Kilkenny goes 60-some yards on the interception.
Scoring at 6:41, intercepting at the 45-yard line. And I'll tell you what, we've maligned that secondary all year, especially that Piscataway game. But boy, has Kilkenny come up big in that one right there.
Unbelievable. Kilkenny stepped right in front of young Joseph, picked it off, zagged his way across the field, and the rest is history. Just a tremendously big play.
And East Brunswick now on top 13-7.
Needless to say, these are important extra points right here.
And East Brunswick takes a timeout.
And I think it was a good timeout, guys, because they really want to concentrate on getting this extra point converted. They got the lead now, and in a game like this, that's very important.
I'll tell you.
Another profound statement, I know.
I'll tell you, terribly exciting. David Kilkenny stepping in front of young Joseph there. I talked about it before. Kilkenny in his younger days has been known as an offensive back. Made the transition to defense for the Bears, has done a solid job all year, and once again, I believe this is his 2nd interception of the year for a touchdown.
Yeah, you're right.
Just a tremendous job.
What do you think of that? I thought LaForge, the quarterback, had a beat on him, but he made that cut in the inside and was able to barrel into the end zone. That was a nice piece of running after that interception.
Oh, great open field running.
Well, he will probably be that option quarterback next year, and he showed what he can do.
All right, bet is on now after the timeout. Klein will hold.
Hey, did that defense come through on that one, huh?
This to make it 14-7. What a game we've had tonight. Kick is up, and it's... Oh, it's just through, my God.
It wasn't the prettiest thing, but it did go through.
Any way you can get them at this juncture. And, boy, I'll tell you what, that 14-7 lead looks... I know there's a lot of time on the clock.
A lot of time, but it silenced the crowd on this side, but where we are.
And I think that's a point to be made. Sayreville clearly had the momentum on its side.
Right.
And if they had it, perhaps it's been taken away.
We will see. East Brunswick will go on defense. Sayreville will have the ball with some 6:40 left on the clock. So as we've said, plenty of time.
And just the feeling, you're right. We have to see how the Bombers respond. But clearly just total silence over here. And you talk about wind being taken out of sails. It happened on that play.
All righty. Boy, can this lead hold up. This, again, put it in the hands of the defense. They've been doing it all night.
Bettis to kick it off. Joseph and O'Neill are back for the Bombers.
Again, watch for Joseph. He's a tough one.
Ball kicked on the ground. Squibb, this should be down right there.
Right.
Walsh caught it at the 35.
49 Pat Walsh, once his knee touched the ground, the ball is down.
Right.
Sayreville takes over, 1st and 10.
And I tell you, defense, Bear defense, it really is gut check time here. The Bombers are going to come out. You got to believe they're going to pull out all the stops here. They got to be a little gun-shy passing after that big interception there. I think they're going to go back to the basics, trying to move that ball down the field on the ground. We'll see.
1st and 10 for the Bombers. Clock ticking away.
All righty,
They
here we
put
go.
2 receivers to the left. Ball sitting at their own 35-yard line. LaFerge gives it to Walsh. He goes to the right, has a hole,
Just
and then
first.
quickly stuffed by Whalen and a host of East Brunswick
I'll tell
tacklers.
you. And I tell you, defense once again coming up strong there. Walsh picked up about 3 yards, but 2 yards, hard yards.
I think the chain guy's a little aggressive there. He needs to move the chain yard marker back.
Pickup of about 2. It'll make it 2nd and 8. Clock down to 5:50. O'Neill comes out of the game for Sayreville. Joseph wide left. LaForge, here's that pitch to Dremba.
They got him.
Dremba
mercy.
stuffed at the 40-yard line.
Wow.
He got a yard, and that was it.
Guys, are we seeing the East
And
Brunswick
who is that
team?
coming up there?
I didn't see it. It was a flash.
Just the linebackers and the.
That's number 72,
Was it 72?
and that's Jeremy Fisher. Wow. Flatten him.
3rd down and 6.
Guys, we apologize for not calling all your numbers out there, but you're doing a hell of a job.
2 receivers now to the left for Sayreville. LaFerge hands off to Dremba. Dremba's got the 1st down and more.
Big, important first down
A
for the
big
Bombers.
first down. And I tell you, Gary Jerima, we talked about him earlier. Bilal King went down with a season-ending injury, and Jerima picked up, and up until this game, had 3 consecutive games over 100 yards, and did some fine, hard running right there.
Well, they're past midfield now.
Ball moved into East Brunswick territory. 1st and 10 for the Bombers. 4:40 showing on the clock. East Brunswick on top, 14-7. LaFerge gives it to Dremba once again,
He's met.
and he'll get a yard, and then he'll be driven back.
He may have lost.
And the clock continues to run here. Was not driven out of bounds.
Sayreville still has 3 timeouts remaining. East
Right.
Brunswick 2.
And if you're the Bears, you got to be pleased that you did keep him in bounds.
For Sayreville.
That was a 1-yard gain. Boy, and if you're a Sayreville fan, the clock is moving too fast. And if you're an East Brunswick fan, can't move fast enough.
fast.
Too slow, right?
2nd and long. This is what East Brunswick wants to have.
2nd and 9. Ball spotted at the East Brunswick 48-yard line. That little screen pass out to O'Neill. He's got some running room. He's got a 1st down and more. And O'Neill will be knocked out of bounds by Kilkenny.
Oh, wow.
All righty.
And they
caught East Brunswick flat that way.
I'll tell you, it's, young man standing on the sidelines got the worst of that. He's already on crutches. We hope he's okay.
1st down, Sayreville. Ball spotted at the East Brunswick 27-yard line.
Okay, here we go.
Stay in that power eye. It's worked well for him. That little counter,
Oh,
Jaremba's
yes.
stuffed right there.
And
Lamarezzo.
how many times have we called his name? That's a big loss.
El Loco right there.
Clock keeps ticking, 3:35.
That's about 6 yards on the loss there. And plus they lose the down.
Phil, I got to believe sooner or later, Sayreville's got to put it up at least one more time.
That sooner or later might be right here, John.
Yeah, you're right.
2nd and 15.
Watch Joseph on the right there, number 1.
Loss of 5 yards on the play. LaFerge keeps, he's being pressured, gets a good block, steps up, throws, has his man Walsh across the middle.
And a good tackle.
And the clock's not stopped.
Pickup of about 6.
And that's young Whalen coming over to make the tackle.
All right, it was a 2nd and 16, so he got back about 10 on that.
And the thing the Bears are doing are keeping them in bounds, not letting them get out of bounds.
Big 3rd down for Sayreville. It'll be 3rd and 6. When they come out of the huddle, the ball at the East Brunswick 28-yard line. Clock ticking, 2:35 showing. Bears on top, 14-7. LaFerge gives it to Dremba. He's dropped it in the backfield.
61, that's Hagen.
Boy, you can't say enough about that East Brunswick defensive line tonight.
Defense is doing a fine job.
4th down.
Hagen,
Good Lord.
Hagen just blowing in there.
What a big play we have coming
This
up
is
here.
it, guys. I really got to think.
Well,
you stop him here.
Well, what is it, 2:12,
2
2:10?
minutes.
Clock is running. East Brunswick, if they stop him, will get the ball under 2 minutes.
That they will. Well, I guess it's not. I think it's fair to say that we got a lot riding on this one play right here.
4th and 6. They put 3 receivers to the left side. Walsh is the sole fella in the backfield. LaFerge being pressured. Looks. He's
gonna get him.
They gets it over the middle. Ball's up in the air. Intercepted. East Brunswick. Hagen's got it.
No, who is it? 72.
Fisher rather. I'm
Fisher.
sorry.
Well, it was a 4th down, but still.
Jeremy Fisher coming up with probably the biggest play of his career right there.
With 1:40 left.
Wow.
And Fisher's going crazy, and why not?
What a tremendous effort by this defense tonight. You know, you talk about that stand in the first half. I have to go back and remember a defensive effort like this.
It was a gut check time, no doubt about
Entire
it.
game.
And the Bears seemingly have come through.
Well,
they got to hold on to the ball.
Clock's running, so Sayreville's going to have.
Well, Sayreville is going to have to use their timeouts.
Right, and at the clock starting right there, if I was East Brunswick, I'd take my time.
Kilkenny over center.
No, that's Colheim, Phil.
I'm sorry, Colheim back.
Got
Sabatino.
And that's all you want to do is hold on to that
And
ball.
Sayreville will have to start using those timeouts, and they take one here with 1:15.
And I'll tell you, you see Sal Mastretta walking out on the field there, and he has to be concerned. And got to take my hat off to Sal Mastretta. He's developed a program here at Sayreville. Had a number of things happen to him, gentlemen, this year. We call them the Sayreville problems. Of course, we know about the destruction of the field in the field house. 3 days before the season, lost his starting quarterback, one of his top linemen ineligible. Then we had the shooting of the BB gun incident. Then Bilal King went down. And then I find out, a scoop I got here is that the young man who shot the BB gun tried to draw a team in to say the team was involved. So for 2 weeks, they've been under an investigation that has finally come to an end, and the team has been exonerated. So and he's weathered all that, and they've played good ball.
Colheim gives it off inside. Sermonello picks up about 8.
I'll tell you what, he gets some important yards there. They only have 2 more to go for first down.
Timeout, Sayreville, their second.
Big run.
1:08 showing on the clock. Bears holding a 14-7 edge.
And as they call this timeout, you see Marcus Borden come out on the field. And gentlemen, you got to really talk about the job that he's done this year. When you get right down to it and you look at the game they did lose, Piscataway, they out-hit Piscataway. Really, I thought outplayed Piscataway. It's just a few big plays there, pass plays that made the difference. They could have easily come in here undefeated and could easily be labeled the best team in Middlesex County.
I agree,
and they
Phil.
may be before it's all done.
Yeah, I agree, Phil. I think East Brunswick, to a man, felt that they should have beaten Piscataway. They let that lead go. I know they would like to have him again. And, wow, still 1:08 left.
3rd and 3. East Brunswick needs this first down.
Yeah, they could use this first down right here.
Sermonello in to the line is not going to get the first down.
Well, let's see. Where is
He's
it?
still driving.
Wait a minute.
He's short. He's short.
I don't know about that, guys. I think he's past
Second
the yard
effort,
marker.
they're going to give it to him.
You
First
betcha.
down, East Brunswick.
And if he does,
that should
that's
seal
the game.
Wow. Yeah, I don't know how many big moments you can have in a game there and how many times you can look back and talk about that, but add that one to it. When they needed that all-important first down late in the game to hold on to the ball.
And Sayreville is not doing anything. They still have 1 timeout remaining.
That's the game.
And with 40 seconds and a first down, East Brunswick can really take its time. Colheim will go to a knee.
And gentlemen, what you just have seen is probably the biggest win in Marcus Gordon's career.
I would think so. And you know, we started this practice of picking a player of the game. I would have to say in this case tonight, it was a group.
Let's give it to the defense.
I want to give it to the defense.
Let's give it to the defensive line. Let's give it to all the defense.
Well, you can't say enough about the job they did tonight. They came in as underdogs facing a 6-1 Sayreville team. The clock ticking down now, 5 seconds. And they go out on top, Phil. A big win, one of the biggest in years at East Brunswick.
You betcha, man.
It is the biggest win
that is a
that
springboard.
I can remember for East Brunswick right now, to date.
Guys, I'll
right
tell you
here,
what.
and look out on the field, and you can see they feel that way too. And why not?
They are so elated, and I'll tell you what. Hats off to the entire team. The defense did what it had to tonight. Most importantly, this team can now put on its label that it's got some heart.
And I tell you, look at the coaches out there. Sal Mastretta said, the only thing about this game here, he said, he and Marcus and I are friends. We have great respect for each other. The only thing, I asked him, did you feel any special juice about this game? He said no. The only thing that we really did think about is that one of us may have to lose this game, and we'd hate to see that. That's what you call real friendship.
Well, I got to tell you, this clears up the state picture a lot. East Brunswick probably, if they beat Woodbridge next week, is going to get a berth. I don't know where. Sayreville is in deep trouble.
Well, the thing about it is that we don't want to spoil the magic moment here. But you don't want to. I said it last week, the last time again they played. You don't want to forget about Woodbridge. They got a young man, Brian Scott, who can turn it on. Has to be contained. But right now, this is the biggest win, certainly one of the biggest wins I've ever that East Brunswick's had since I've been watching the game. This win certainly can propel them into the States if they continue to play the type of ball that they have been playing.
Well, it was certainly everything and more than we expected. The Bears coming out on top 14-7. They improved their record to 6-1. Sayreville falls to 6-2. It was a tremendous game, and as you said, Phil, really propels East Brunswick's program, propels them as a team into the state playoff picture. And so that's it from Sayreville High School. For Phil Hill and Jim Allinder, I'm John Meggiolaro saying thanks for being with us.